Good morning. It is Monday morning on this middle of September already. So several things happened over the past few days that have led me to what I want to talk about today. I've been trying to adjust my camera and I had it set in the wrong spot. I'm sorry. All right. Several things have led me to what I want to talk about today. And they're really, really simple, but stick with me as I string them together, and I think this will make sense. I had a group of kids working at the church this weekend on an Eagle Scout project. Amazing kids doing an amazing job, an amazing little project that they put together. And it was entirely their idea, and they brought this, and I think it's really cool. And I was really proud of them and the job that they were doing. But when I arrived, I walked up. They were working in 3 different locations, and when I walked up, there was a young man. He was obviously the little brother of one of the older kids, and probably about 8 or 9 years old. And he said, "Hey, Mister, your glasses are crooked. I've broken my glasses, and so they sit really funky on my face." And I said, "No, I think it's just I have a crooked head." And he said, "Well, maybe, but I think your glasses are also crooked." I plan to go get another pair just as soon as I get off this live feed. And so we had a good time. We had a good, fun little exchange right there, like that. And then I watched them do the job that they were doing, and I thought back about how many times, about 3 or 4 times this past week, I pulled into the drive-through at either a fast food restaurant or a barbecue place or someplace, and ordered something online. Order something to pick up in the drive-through. And since this entire lockdown, there's been a group of unsung heroes. We gave all of this credit to the people who worked in the medical fields, and I understand that. And my heart goes out to them. My prayers are for them that they'll stay safe. However, we've also had this group of kids, and I'm talking about real kids, that have showed up every day, that have stood in lines and taken orders and have helped people to have food through this entire pandemic. And they've been amazing. In my opinion, they've really been amazing. I've met some of the most amazing kids. We broke down coming back several months ago, and I talked about this in another live feed, so I'm not going to repeat it here. But we broke down on the way home from a trip that we'd taken, and we're stuck in the state of Illinois that it's in a complete shutdown. You can't do anything. You can't go any place. You can't go inside anywhere, and we're stuck in the parking lot at Cracker Barrel. And there were 2 kids that were working at the Cracker Barrel there that were doing carry-out orders. I could not have asked for 2 more amazing kids. I found their manager. He came in. They changed shifts. He came in, and I told him how much I appreciated what he had done with them. He said, "They are pretty amazing kids." And I said, "A great tribute to you for what you've done." He said, "No, they came to me amazing. We've just allowed them to flourish here." Really important. He said, "They came to me amazing." I'm seeing some really, really great kids that are growing up in this current generation in the midst of all of the mess that we have going on. Really great kids, and a great tribute to them. And so I was thinking over the weekend of the number of people who saw something in me when there wasn't anything there. And there were at least 3 people and I talked about them. I spent a whole week doing a tribute to those 3 people, but there was at least 3 people go through my mind almost every day, because of the amazing input that they had into my life. And here I am now on the other end, actually older than most of those men were when they died. And I'd like to encourage you to find those kids that came amazing and encourage them, support them, help them, mentor them, be a positive influence in their lives. They're doing the best they can with what they have. With school going back in session, there's going to be some challenges that go with that. And they don't need you to remind them of how challenging that is. They need you to love on them, mentor them, and introduce them to your world. Really important that we have somebody that believes in us when we don't believe in ourselves. I have a couple little things I'll share because I leave these around so that I can do this. This one is a reminder. I use the bucket toss, and that's the bucket is a reminder of the influence that my dad had. And some of the things that I share here are things that we shared when we sat on the bucket. But I said for a long, long time, I did my dad's funeral when I was 26 years old. Most people don't expect to do that, but I did. I did my dad's funeral at 26 years old. And I jokingly said later that I was going to decorate his grave with a manure spreader. That's a joke. That was a joke between the two of us for a long, long time. I have one. I bought this manure spreader to leave on my desk just as a reminder that he saw something when nobody else did. And then just a few years ago, somebody sent me this, and I have to share this with you for just a moment. It's somebody who's in that younger generation, not the teenagers that I'm describing, but somebody who fits in that other category. And somebody who, and what the tribute on the back of this says is a reminder of her anchor and how important that was. But I say all that because sometimes we need to have around us things that remind us, things that encourage us, things that keep us connected to the roots. For me, it's the bucket. And now I've added to that collection. But for me, it's the bucket. And so I call this Bucket Talks. I do that on purpose because that was a time in my life when people saw something that I didn't see, something that a lot of other people didn't see, but they did. And they poured themselves into my life in such a way. I'm here today and I've been able to do the same thing for other people. And I cannot tell you how glad I am that they did. I have seen what they have said and the encouraging things they've said about people who shared with me. And so I just wanted to remind you today, don't forget that person who's working at the drive-thru at the barbecue restaurant, or that person who's working, waiting tables in the midst of this mess at the Cracker Barrel or wherever you happen to be or wherever you happen to go. They're pretty amazing too. And they may have come amazing, but let's give that generation the credit that they deserve, and let's keep them in the forefront of our thoughts. Let's keep them encouraged by our presence. Let's let them know how much we care about them and how much we love them and what they mean to us, because they're important. Listen, this old guy doesn't want to have to cook all the time. To be able to drive through and pick up something, amazing, amazing. And I appreciate that. I really do. I look back now on all of those years and along the way made some decisions that I was going to spend more time focusing on other people and how to make them better than anything else. And so that's been my passion because somebody did it for me. And I want to encourage you to do it for somebody else. As Don said, be a good human being to others and make the world a better place. That's exactly what I'm saying in multitude of other ways. And you'll find people that need your encouragement. And I could give you a list of amazing people that are completely invisible, and I have to find times and opportunities to go encourage them, to love on them, to thank them for the job that they do, because it's just the right thing to do. And as we go through this world, let the world do whatever it is that they're going to do. I don't want to use that phrase in irresponsibly, but I know what I can do. The question is always, well, what are we going to do about this? Well, what are you going to do about it? If you will take a positive action and somebody else takes a positive action and somebody else takes a positive, pretty soon we do what Don said and we change the world. We make it a better place. Let's focus our attention where it belongs, and that is on being an encouragement to one another. Thank you for joining me today. I'll look forward to talking to you on a different topic later. But all of that stuff came together, and it's that little boy's fault for saying, "Hey, mister, your glasses are crooked." And it reminded me just what an amazing generation we have around us.